Hi folks, this is a video where I'm showing off one of my collections of a particular artist, and for this first one I've chosen Pere Ubu, who, for those not in the know, they're still about, they've been about for 40 years, but they were more or less sort of Hi everyone, this is a video where I'm showing off one particular artist that I collect and showing off my collection. The first video that I decided to do it on Pere Ubu, who are a group who've been about for 40 years, with lead singer Dave Thomas being the only mainstay. When they started out, they were making sort of music that was sort of post-punk before even punk existed, and they have a very sort of cult following. Never really had much, despite signing to major labels twice, they never had much commercial success. But they've influenced everyone from, everyone from sort of Frank Black, Henry Rollins, Mike Watt, people like that are fans. I think a lot of the people who come out of alternative rock took quite a lot of sort of influence from them. So yeah, first off I've got the Data Panic in the Year Zero box set. This was released by Cooking Vinyl in 2009. And this has their first 5 albums, which include, first 5 albums, and Data Panic in Year Zero, the EP, the Modern Dance, Dub Housing, New Picnic Time, The Art of Walking, and Song of the Bathing Man, alongside a disc full of tracks from sort of Cleveland bands that were sort of contemporaries of Pere Ubu. A very good release, and unfortunately it's out of print now. I mean, there's 2 versions of it. There is a version that was released by Geffen in the 90s, which has got a live album. But yeah, unfortunately it's out of print now, which is a bit of a shame. But I've got a couple of albums from that period, like the mid-70s, the early 80s. I've got The Art of Walking, which is probably one of their weirdest albums, and it's an album I have a soft spot for, even though it's absolutely bonkers in places. There's one track, Lost in Art, where Dave Thomas spends 5 minutes saying "Where's my shoe?" while someone sort of hits a drum. It's very weird, but you know, it's got some of the best tracks like Birdies, Misery Goats. I mean, this version is quite different from the one on CD. You know, there's the song Arabia's got vocals on and stuff like that. This is the other album, which is a previous album. New Picnic Time, which is one that I actually have a bit of a liking for. And it's sort of grown on me. And that one I also like Dub Housing from that era, and I'd really like to get that one on vinyl. So yeah, moving on. I mean, the group split up in 1982, and they sort of reconvened in the late 80s, and they signed to Mercury Records, or Phonogram as they were called back then, and released something like 4 albums on major labels, or on the major label. And the first one is A Tenement Year, which is a very good record. A bit of a transitional one. There's some of the sort of more experimental stuff alongside some of the more popular stuff, like We Have the Technology, really good record. And I know these next couple are the most controversial because they do really sound quite mainstream. But this one, Cloudland, is pretty good, but it's maybe a bit too bloated. There's too many sort of bland tracks on there, but there is like a handful of really good tracks. I don't know, like Cry, Racer's Sun, Breath, and Waiting for Mary. And also there's an early song, Love, 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 which has been sort of rejigged for that album. This one, Roars and Collision, is quite underrated. Gil Norton's production on this is dated really badly, but it's quite an upbeat record. Although Winter in the Firelands is quite a dark finale to it, but it's quite sort of upbeat and whimsical. And yeah, I really like that album. It's very, very overlooked. Yeah, this is sort of the last sort of poppy album. And it's sort of a transitional one. I mean, there's tracks like Come Home, which are a bit edgier, while songs like Kathleen and Sleepwalk are a bit more sort of upbeat, a bit more poppy. So yeah, then they sort of left the whole major label thing and went back to their roots. And this is a sort of they're back to their roots album. There is some sort of there's one song, Beach Boys, which does sound like their sort of previous albums, the previous couple of albums. But this is more sort of a return to the sort of buzzing synths, weird sort of theremin effects, and sort of weird sort of vocals. I mean, on Turquoise Fin, Dave Thomas's voice sounds like it was recorded underwater. It's I actually quite like this one, but I mean the next two albums, 1998's Pennsylvania and 2002 St. Arkansas are ones that I've never really got my head around. They do sound a bit like Pere Ubu by numbers. They never really stood out. But I mean, 2006 is Why I Hate Women, and I haven't got the remix, Why Remix Women, but this album is actually sort of when they sort of started to get the groove again, which I mean, stuff like Babylonian Warehouses and or Caroline, yeah, really good tracks. There's also the sort of quirky thing where they sort of take song names from pop songs, so you get like Blue Velvet and My Boyfriend's Back, My Boyfriend's Back, and stuff like that, which I mean they've done on sort of other albums as well, and on to their early stuff on Dub Housing, where they called one track Drinking Wine Spieldy Oddy. And the next album is Long Live Pere Ubu. I haven't listened to this one a lot. This is one he did, which is a sort of adaptation of Ubu Roy, which is where the character Pere Ubu is in. And so Dave Thomas does sort of plays Pere Ubu, and Sarah Jane Morris plays Mare Ubu. I haven't listened to it too much, and it's an album that I'm really going to have to try and get into. But yeah, the last two I have on vinyl. Lady from Shanghai, really like this one. What can I say? It's more or less along the lines of Why I Hate Women. Sort of very, very good, very good. quite a strong album, and plus, you know, there's a song called Mandy on there. Yeah. And then there's this one, which is their latest one, which isn't quite as strong as Lady from Shanghai, but it's still pretty good. And I've got this on both CD and this is a promo copy, a CD and vinyl. I mean, yeah, there's two different track listings. This one has sort of 5 sort of weird noise sort of interludes, and this one has sort of a 12-minute track, Brother Ray, which isn't that great, but it's good to have both of them. Yeah, and that's about it. I don't have any of the live albums, unfortunately, which I'll have to get around to getting. And I do eventually want to get some of the earlier albums, like the Modern Dance and Dub Housing, which the latter is probably one of my favourite albums. But yeah, I hope to be back in July to do another vinyl update. I've got some things I've pre-ordered for the end of the month. Some really good albums, by the way. And yeah, until then, goodbye.